Hey everybody, this is Darkseid Elite here, and I'm wearing my Zack Snyder T-shirt. I'm gonna let you guys on what's going on in my universe. I'm gonna be for a while holding back on a lot of videos, except the ones I'm gonna be doing with Hawk on Fridays to get out for Mondays, due to the fact that my boss got hurt at work and I have to basically fill in for him. So I'm running the show at my work. I'm gonna be extraordinarily busy, and we got a lot of stuff happening within the next couple of weeks. So until then, a lot of my personal vlogs are going to be held back um, until he comes back. So I want to go over a couple of things that I've noticed that during the DC Fandome that I really, really enjoyed, and some stuff I felt that they could get a little bit better at. One of the best things they did is they got um, some good hosts. There's other hosts that were just flat out terrible. They were just happy. They were just the bandwagon geeks. That's what they were. These are the bandwagon geeks that that think that they're geeks, but they call themselves nerds. And it's like, no, you're a geek. Hawk has explained it, and that's true. Geeks like geeky things that are out of the normal. They're not the stuff that a lot of us a lot of people would look to. Nerds are smart people that think more logically, and they go into science and such like that, like Star Trek. Those are Star Trek nerds. They know about the sciences of they're science geeks. So there's a lot of layers to this type of fandom, and people get them confused. They got like stereotypical bandwagon geeks, and a lot of them were just so cringy in my personal opinion. I didn't like them, and I couldn't relate with them. Alicia Tyler, she gained a little bit of weight, but she still looks hella good. And again, I don't look at black women like that. I'm more of I like a little milk in my coffee, if you understand what I mean, or I like milk. Um, um, but Alicia Tyler is a complete geek. She's a straight up geek. She loves comic books. She loves the geekier sides of things. But she calls herself a nerd, and I go, no, you're a geek. So, but anywho, um, the Wonder Woman 484 panel was really good. I actually liked it. Chris Pine just took the whole thing from me. I love him in that. And also, I love Pedro Pascal. I believe he was extraordinarily happy being there. And they really didn't get into a lot about his character, which I felt was a little dismissive. I felt that they should have been talking a little bit more on his character, because he's going to be prominent throughout the whole movie. Barbara Minerva is not going to be that prevalent until probably around before the apex of the movie. She's going to start to become a little bit in the backfield, and then at the very end, that's when she's going to be dealing with Cheetah. So, they revealed the Cheetah design. I don't want to see it. I had a split look at it, and I was like, no. I just put my hands in the air. Sorry, I don't want to see it. I'm one of those people. I don't want to look at it until it's in the movie as a final product. It unnerves me. It unnerves me, and I don't like that. I want to be surprised in the movie that they took their time to make it look really good, and that's a final product. If I look at it beforehand, people are going to be like, oh, it looks hella good, and I go, it doesn't look that good, and I'm already nitpicking at it. I don't want to nitpick this movie. There's some things I don't like in it, but again, Patty Jenkins is doing the Wonder Woman that she wants to do. Gal is comfortable with that, and I'd rather have a comfortable actor, and they're still paying homage to who Wonder Woman is, and in a certain way, because again, they're going with the more ambassador with the hawk with the eagle on her shoulder, and she has the white cape and everything else, and she's supposed to be almost like the female Superman. That's how they imaged her in the 90s. In the 80s, they imaged her as the woman Superman, like she's about peace and this and that. And I think that's what Patty Jenkins is aiming for, but that's not Wonder Woman. That isn't. And at the core of her character, she's a warrior, and she will do what she thinks is the right thing to do. Yes, but she will kill. She's a warrior. She has no problem killing people. You saw her do it in the first Wonder Woman movie. So there should be no problem with her wanting to put a sword between somebody's skull. She has no qualms about that. But they're going with the more, I hate to say this, but it fits. They're going with in my perspective, they're going with the closer Linda Carter / Wonder Woman, and they had her on there, which is great. She looks great for her age, and that's what they're paying homage to. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Linda Carter next to Michael Keaton and Christopher Reeve should get a lot more prominence as Wonder Woman. She doesn't get it as much as what you think that she does. A lot of people in the fandom don't even barely remember Linda Carter as Wonder Woman, except that she was there. Then DC, during one of Wonder Woman's birthdays, her anniversaries, they did a whole homage of Linda Carter's Wonder Woman in a whole comic book look, and it was really good. However, me personally, I hope we get to the Warrior Wonder Woman, which is what inspired Sam Raimi to do Xena. Xena is supposed to be Wonder Woman. That's why she has the chakram, which is supposed to be her tiara. She can use a whip, which is supposed to be the rope. And she knows how to use swords and shields. She's supposed to be able to fight Ares on equal levels. She's supposed to be Wonder Woman. And she was the queen of the Amazons at one point. She was this, she was that. She fought Heracles. She did all this stuff. Everything that Xena did in her TV show is supposed to be from Wonder Woman. That's what Sam Raimi built the whole TV show off of. So I want to get to that version of Wonder Woman, not the whole, the lesbianism stuff that they did, the semi-lesbianism stuff. That is understandable, because if you have a woman raised around other women, never knew the touch of a man, of course she's gonna have romantic feelings towards some of the women, and also friendships and everything else. It makes sense. It's like you raise a boy around other men, around no women, he might start to have feelings for the boys. It happens. That it makes sense. If you don't have an opposite sex to have interactions with, you don't know if you're heterosexual or homosexual. That's just the way it is. And I hate to give kudos to this person, but Joss Whedon did do that. He made Wonder Woman a semi-lesbian in his run, but it made sense because he made it make sense to the point where she was raised around other women. She never knew the touch of a man. She never knew about men. The only thing she knew about men was that men cause wars. That was the whole thing about the Amazonians, because if you really think about it, they're not warriors of Zeus. They're warriors of Hera. Hera is supposed to be the goddess of fertility and marriage. If men screwed around in their marriage, especially kings and leaders, and they're screwing around their wives who have been very devoted, and the women pray to Hera for guidance, guess what happens? You see the queen of the Amazon show up at your doorstep and say and tell you how it is, and you can't fight them because these women are highly trained. They basically get the training of Ares. They get the archery and tracking skills of Artemis, and they get the armor from Hephaestus, and they get the wisdom and intelligence and guidance of Athena. So they get the guidance of the gods at their disposal to make them the ultimate warriors. And on top of that, most men in Greece are around 5'5", between 5'5" to 5'10". These women were like over 6 foot. There's no way these men are going to be able to take these women on, especially if they've been highly trained by the gods. So that's the whole scope, that why I personally would like to see a little bit more of the warrior side of Wonder Woman than the more peacekeeping ambassador that Patty Jenkins is doing. I have nothing against Patty Jenkins. Patty Jenkins deserved to make the movie she wants to do, like what we've been talking about for 2 years now for Zach. Zach wanted to do these ideas. If it works with some people, it works. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That doesn't mean that that director was wrong. Now, she didn't completely go off the normal for her. She didn't. The way that she made that Wonder Woman is relevant in the comics. It makes sense. She just didn't go into the more extreme levels where basically she didn't use a sword and shield. She used her hand. She used fisticuffs. No, she's a warrior. She has a sword and shield, a gladius, and a small shield. That's her. That's what she does. She's a warrior. So again, I want all of you to understand that I'm not talking down to Patty Jenkins. I'm just giving you all clarification about the different aspects to Wonder Woman's character. She's going with more of the diplomat ambassador Wonder Woman, the Linda Carter side of Wonder Woman. Sorry that my watch went off. But I would like to get the minimum, like half this, half that, some of this, some of that. I would like to get a full spectrum of Diana Prince's character where she's a warrior, because I want all of you to understand that in the first sections of her comic, we all know she left Themyscira when she wasn't supposed to. But here's the thing though, that's one of the later stories. The original story was she went through the trials to actually don the suit to go there, and her mother told her don't do it, to not do it, and she did anyway. So she went through the trial. She beat all of her sisters. She fought them, and she was able to don the outfit. She wore a costume in place of it, so her mother wouldn't know, but her mother knew. Her mother knew it was her. And she said that you don't understand where you're going because you're still thinking like this. That's why she wanted to send her other sisters, because they understood what they were going to be dealing with, which was Dr. Poison, Ares, and the Baron. They understood. Like the moment they got there, they understood what was going to be happening. But with the whole thing with Steve Trevor, and she followed Steve Trevor, she started to realize, and Hera told to not leave the island also. She said, no, don't do it. But Hippolyta did it anyway. She let Diana go, and the moment you come to find out that it's Ares, Hera revealed that if you do this, you're getting disfavor of the gods, and there's a punishment. And she did it anyway because she thought it was wrong. And guess what? She didn't lose any of her powers. What happened was she was cursed to never be able to go back home. And the only way to fix it is she had to go through the 12 trials. She went through the same type of trials as Hercules, so she could be able to go home. But over the course of it, she basically liked humanity. She liked man's world, and she stayed. And then they kind of eluded the fact that she still went through the 12 trials. She still went through the trials, but at the final one, she didn't complete it because she wanted to actually stay. Because if she left man's world, she's never supposed to come back. That was the whole point of it. But she basically was able to build a bridge, and that's how she was able to stay. And she met Superman and Batman and Aquaman, and and those guys, without Superman and Batman, created the Justice League of America, and she was one of the first members because she fought with these type of people, and she wanted to continue fighting with them and save the world. But that's like a brushstroke. There's a lot more that was going on, but that's a brushstroke about what happened with Wonder Woman. She got almost the same type of trials as Heracles to actually to be able to go home. But in the later ones, they said that no, she left without her mother's consent. She left without obeying the gods, and they basically and they made it to like Zeus did this. No. They're misconstruing the real legend of the Amazons with, oh, let's just change this. No, the Amazonians do not work for Zeus. They work for Hera. They are her warriors, her champions, because Zeus don't need it. He's the king of the gods. Why would he need an army? Why would he need an army of women? That makes absolutely no sense. For it to be Hera makes a lot more sense because of who Hera is. But again, that's a little bit of a tangent. Sorry, but the Wonder Woman panel was not bad. They did a lot of stuff that was actually kind of funny, funny in a certain way, but also it was kind of like, wow, you guys are going a little too extreme. And also the fact that they're trying to really push the point that everybody can be Wonder Woman. I go, no, not really. No. You can look up to Wonder Woman, like I can look up to Wonder Woman, but I don't want to be Wonder Woman. I don't want to be Wonder Woman. I want to be Batman or Superman. That's just my thing. I mean, I respect the living hell out of Wonder Woman. I do. I think that she deserves a really good writer. Right now, she's not written very well, in my personal opinion. I think they don't know what to do with her. I said before what I would do with her. I would actually do a huge story about Diana and Donna and get down to nitty gritty. Who is Donna? Who is she? If they're going to go with Diana being the daughter of Zeus, the true daughter of Zeus, I would make Donna the original Wonder Woman. I would make her the original Wonder Woman that was made out of clay by Hippolyta. That's the reason why her story's all messed up. Because you know, you could do however you want with it, but I would make Donna the original Wonder Woman. She is the original Wonder Woman. And that's the reason why Hippolyta never really that's why when you reintroduce Donna has all this experience and knowledge, but she has nowhere near the power and skill as Diana. But she's powerful as hell. And then when you get to more about it, you're like, oh, wow, she's the original Wonder Woman. She's about as powerful as the Golden Age Superman, which is pretty freaking powerful. She's still powerful as hell. So that's the way I would do it. That's me. But the next thing is we got an understanding about this new Sandman TV show, which is almost all British actors. I am going to watch this and see what they do. I don't know very much about Sandman. I know who Sandman is, but I don't know much about the Dreaming. I know a little bit about it, but not very much, only due to the fact is that's a Vertigo property, and I read more DC stuff, and but I'm very happy with it. It looks very interesting. They got Michael Sheen. They got all these British actors. I mean, there's some that I forgot, but I've heard of them, and I'm like, wow. And also Neil Gaiman, who created it, who re-envisioned the character. He basically is the producer. So they're talking to him about any ideas, and also he's willing to talk about it because, in all honesty, Sandman's not a big property here in the United States. It's a bigger property in Britain. It got the British people to read more DC and Vertigo. So I think Neil Gaiman, having him there, and then they got another guy there. Those two are gonna have they're gonna make a lot of money for Netflix. They're going to make a ton of money because this is not going to be seen very much. It's going to have a good following here in the United States because there's people that read the Vertigo comics and also Sandman. Easy. But it's going to kill overseas. It's going to kill over in Great Britain because that comic book is what got people to look at DC Comics. In all honesty, let's be perfectly honest. So Neil Gaiman over there is like the Stan Lee over here. I mean, that's just the way it is. It was a really good panel. They talked to Michael Sheen, who basically looked like he was in love with Neil Gaiman. He was smiling and everything, but he said he'd been reading Sandman comics since he was a kid. So since he was young, and he loved it. It was very good animation, and they're going to keep very close to the comic. And they're going to make sure that the people who are watching this, they understand. And they understand who Sandman really is. He's not just a simple character. No, there's a complexity to him that's really going to resonate with them. In my honest opinion, I think that if they really going to make a live action, get Zack Snyder to do it. Get Zack, because Zack understands, because Sandman's character is about tragedy and bringing hope to tragedy. And also he deals with the people that want to commit suicide or murdered, and they're in between the living and the dead, and he's trying to figure out to help them so they don't become a poltergeist that's going to haunt and become an evil poltergeist, or let them ascend or descend. So and again, Zack having that tragedy with Willow, it's going to resonate with him, but I think that he can keep on task and really give us something so emotional and so to the heart that all of us are going to really feel for him and feel for the reasoning why he walked away from Justice League, because we all understood, but when you have someone that's pouring their heart out in an artist form, like music or a painting or a poem, that's you're getting the raw emotion. But for Zack, him doing something like a Sandman episode, oh my God, I think everyone is going to it's going to be very emotional. It might bring tears to a lot of people's eyes that might not usually get emotional when it comes to stuff like that. And I think that's going to be, the Netflix is going to kill it. And I think that in all honesty, once it's done on Netflix, if it comes out serial or it comes out in the whole, the moment it comes out, I would say a week later, it should be on DC streaming. So people who got the DC streaming service should be able to get it. Now this is one of the best panels in literally the whole fandom, and it was the Multiverse 101, and it was Tiffany Smith talking to Jim Lee, Walter Hamada, and Greg Berlanti. We can kind of skip Greg Berlanti. He screwed himself in the pooch a little, and I think that they talked to him about it, and now he's gonna kind of be quiet because he revealed that the moment they brought in the Flash, they never even brought a consideration about the multiverse. And I go, wait a minute, what? Dude, that's what this character deals with. That's who this character is. He deals with time travel and dimension hopping, which is alternate universes or the multiverse. So you never really thought about anything like that? Then what was the purpose of season 1 through 4? It was all about time travel and basically Barry screwing with time and going to alternate dimensions. So it shows to me that Andrew Kreisberg was doing everything he can to make sure it makes sense, but Greg Berlanti was like, and I'm like, wow, really? That makes to me that he should never have said that. He should have kept it closer to the chest that they should have been. They weren't aware how big it was gonna be. Like, there was always a plan, but we didn't realize how big it was going to be, and we tried to keep it as simple as possible. But we were just all trying to have a lot of fun with the character. That would have made it a lot more sense to a lot of people. I mean, it's what the way I explained it to a couple of people, they were like, "That I never like they had this type of face," and I go, "Yeah, right. That makes absolute sense. Why would you reveal that in front of two bosses? He's not a boss." He has to talk to Jim Lee or Walter Hamada about any of these characters. He can't just pick a character and just do whatever he wants with it. He has to talk to either Walter Hamada, who says, yeah, I'm not doing anything with that, so you can go ahead, or you got to talk to Jim Lee, who can say yay or nay to it. And most likely he'll say yay to it because he wants these characters exposed. He doesn't want to keep characters in the locker. He wants to open up the vault. I'm sorry, yeah, keep them in the vault. He wants to open up the vault and let everybody experience these characters. That's why the multiverse makes absolute sense. And I'm definitely going to talk about this one video. I'm going to pull it up and we're going to listen to it, and me and Hawk, we're going to cut a lot of what I'm talking about out of this. This video is the main reason why we don't get good things. This video right here is the video of what I'm going to show to Hawk is going to be the main reason why people have a problem with what I say or what Hawk says. Hawk understands. He understands there's not a good translation between comics to live action. Or animation can be easy, but not in live action. Some things don't look right. Costumes will not look right. Hell, we had Pariah with his costume in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it looked like something for Party City. It looked terrible. They should have re-envisioned it. They should have given him cloth. Like it was all cloth, not an armor. And I didn't like that. I thought that was weird. It didn't look right. And then neither did freaking the Anti-Monitor. They really, in my personal opinion, they kind of screwed the pooch on the Anti-Monitor. They never gave a basis of who the Anti-Monitor is. They made it sound like the Anti-Monitor is the Monitor. Like, it's the Monitor. And it's like, who is this character? And the armor looked terrible. I'm not trying to diss the costume designers, but I'm dissing the showrunner for the whole situation because they should never have done that. They should have made Anti-Monitor almost animated. Like it should have made him almost animation because he's large. They should have just kept him that way. They should never had a guy portray him. It should have been a voice, a disembodied voice, and then you see him in a CGI look. In my personal opinion, they should have kept it close to like he's there but he's not really there. Stuff like that. They should have never. I mean, it just looked weird. The guy who played the Monitor, his armor looked pretty good. It looked pretty good because it didn't look too shiny and plasticky. It actually looked like it was armor. It looked pretty good. But again, it was just weird. But Greg Berlanti should never have said a word. He should never have revealed what he said. Walter Hamada, in my personal opinion, is the guy. He understands. And in my personal opinion, take it for a grain of salt, but my personal opinion, he's a much better producer than Kevin Feige. He's a much better producer. He's quiet. He looks like he's not playing. He understands. And two, he's looking at the bigger picture. He's looking at the huge picture, the true long game, something like a 20-year plan. He's not looking at, within 5 years or 2 years or this and that. He's not doing what Kevin Feige did. Kevin Feige didn't, when he was trying to create the whole Thanos, the whole Infinity thing, the Infinity Saga, there were bumps in there because they couldn't use certain characters. Walter Hamada is looking at the bigger plan. He's looking at the huge plan. And I'm not saying Kevin Feige didn't do it. I'm just saying that that's the reason why Walter Hamada, when he came in here, he looked at everything that was in front of him. He looked at everything that there's the possibilities. He saw what the Snyder Cut was, and who knows? He probably thought that what the hell happened here. But he needed to create a plan to showcase that he has a huge plan. And I know that Jim Lee worked very intimately with him, so they can actually come up with such a great plan that basically, even if the Snyder Cut wasn't able to come out, they at least had a plan. The Snyder Cut was just massive icing on the cake for them. They were like, oh God, we got the Snyder Cut able to come out? Great, now we can move forward. Now there's things that are not screwing with us. And then when CW did the Crisis on Infinite Earths, that blew everything open. I knew it too. I said, wait a minute, Crisis on Infinite Earths, that means that the Snyder Cut can easily come out and who gives a rat's behind. They can move forward with anything they want now. They don't have to go with Snyder's his blueprint. They don't have to if they don't want to. They could keep Shazam in a different universe and say, hey, we're going to build up a Shazam universe. They could make a Matt Reeves Batman. They could do it in its own little separate universe without having to integrate with anybody else. And when the Snyder Cut comes out and it blows everyone's socks off, which it will, they can either go with it or say, hey, we're going to take elements and we're going to try to build a new DCEU from those blueprints. And I think that that's what they want to do, but they definitely want to see how the Snyder Cut unfolds. So Jim Lee was just he talked just like Stan Lee. He's very happy to see these characters being portrayed very well, and he just wants to get the product out there so people can see it. He's not wanting to hide characters, but he wants characters to be done appropriately, and that directors are able to do the envisionments that they want, which is a plus. And Walter said the greatest line of all lines. He said, because of this multiverse, we're not hampered by just having to do the source material if we don't want to, or a director has to do this to make the character that most people say is right. They can do the characters they want, and we have the ability to say, hey, this is positive, we could put that in, or keep it in its own universe, which is awesome. That's great. That's what you want. That means that someone like Zach can come along and continue doing the stories that he wants to do, or a director comes in and say, hey, I want to help you do this, or another director says, hey, I wanted to help you do this. We can still have James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and if his Suicide Squad blows everything out the water and it really makes everyone go, wow, this is the Suicide Squad, James Gunn can come in and say, hey, yeah, I want to put them in the DCU. These guys can work very well, and they could go for like 5, 6, 7, maybe up to another decade before Idris Elba says, hey, you know what, I'm done. So they can easily do stuff like that and really make these characters very, very good and make a very good DC level type of story that makes sense. And I have no problem with that. I have truly no problem with that. You can easily say, multiverse, kick it out, done. We don't have to worry about it. It's in its own multiverse. Who the heck cares? It's fine. I have no problem with that. But I'm going to talk about the guy who had a problem with it, and it really irked me. It irked me to the point where I was like, I'm about to send a DM to this dude and say, You are the main reason why we don't get good things. I disagree with you, and I wholeheartedly I agree with you on some points, but I wholeheartedly disagree with you on any, because you can't say you have the multiverse but follow the comics. That makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. You can't say this Batman is exactly the same Batman. No, there's different circumstances. Marvel, and I'm going to bring it up in even with Hawk, and Hawk and I are going to agree. Marvel had the perfect opportunity to do alternate realities, but they mixed it with time travel. And they try to say that, yeah, if you change one thing, it has no effect to this time frame. It has effect on that time frame. That makes absolutely no sense. That throws everything out the window. That means you're talking about an alternate reality. That's not time travel. It's alternate realities. So they basically just made this so confusing, but people ate it up. You introduce the Flash, and the Flash can say, hey, I vibrated this. They said in a TV show. That was one of the things they said naturally in a TV show. There's a difference between time travel and dimension hopping. Dimension hopping is he has to vibrate himself at a certain frequency to go to a different Earth. They said that. For time travel, he has to get to a certain speed, and he has to concentrate on where he wants to go in the Speed Force, and the Speed Force will allow him to go back in time. That's what time travel is. They said that. They muddled it up in a few ways because they didn't try to do the frequency thing, but they did say in the TV show that Barry has to vibrate at a certain frequency for him to go to a different Earth while reaching the same levels of speed. So it's a congruency thing. It has to work on the same unit. But I have a huge feeling that Andy and Ezra and Christina are going to sit down and make the rules for the Flash. What can he do with his time travel? What can he do with dimension hopping or going into different time frames within the multiverse? I'm sorry, within certain dimensions within the multiverse, stuff like that. That's the things that I want to see, because that makes sense. I don't want to see them try to dumb it down, and then they try to dumb it down again, but it confuses people. Make it make sense, and then add another layer to it so people go, oh, people are not stupid. The average audience member can understand time travel. We've had so many time travel movies before. The Flash TV show has made so many pop culture references to time travel. The butterfly effect, the malleable timeline, the cautionary timeline, stuff like that. Back to the Future, the butterfly effect, all those type of freaking timelines. But the Flash deals with, you make a change in the past, it has ramifications to the future. And you can't go back and fix it to make it back to the way it was. They said it. That's the rule. Flat. You change something, it has adverse effects. It could jack a lot of stuff up. Hence why they did what they did with the Flashpoint. They're trying to change some stuff up. But it was drastic effects because Barry wanted to save his mom and stop Eobard Thawne. But it was the best panel, and Jim was awesome. Walter Hamada, I will shake this man's hand. I will legitimately tell him, thank you. You are the best producer for these movies. You understand the big picture. DC has so many characters and so many things to do. You have a lot to play with. Marvel screwed up. Kevin Feige screwed up. He should have took his long time. Civil War should have made Tony into a bad guy. I'll talk about this with Hawk, so we can both go yep. We can all go agree with it. The Justice League panel. They talked with the Flash. I love that panel. The Flash panel was fun. It was exciting. It got you hyped for Ezra Miller, who looked like Charles Manson. Then they talked about Milestone Comics, and they talked to Phil Lamar, who did the voice of Static. He did the voice of Jon Stewart. He did the voice of Black Lightning, and it's like he did a lot of DC. He is all pro DC, so I doubt that he's gonna go anywhere else. He's got a great solid gig. He's good to go. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Um, they talked to the creators and the writers of Static and Black Lightning, and also they talked to the guy who created Milestone Comics, and they talked to Jim Lee because Jim is one of the main reasons why Milestone Comics merged with DC and why they got those characters. Because if it wasn't for Jim Lee, the creator of Milestone Comics would have folded up, and we never would have had any more Static Comics or Black Lightning or Icon, stuff like that. We never would have had those guys. Those guys would have fell off the ether, and we never would have had them ever again. You never would have heard of them. You never would have heard of them. You never had a TV show and such like that. So I think that was a really good panel. And it gave you an understanding about how important those black superheroes are, not just to DC. I mean, not just to like myself as a black guy, or even Hawk, who has some black in him too, or anybody else. It's more on the comic book genre itself, because those are all black all black. It was all black comics, and also Milestone was all black. It was black people who were writing it and editing and such like that. So that's a huge undertaking, especially when they came out in the mid 80s. I believe, yeah, they came out like 83 or 84 or something like that. So they were around for a while. And Black Lightning, early 80s, because Black Lightning was one of the first books. And Icon came out next, and then Static came out next, and they had a few others. Then the second part was the Justice League panel, which was drop the trailer, blew everyone's mind. I can't wait for this. He revealed it's gonna be 4 hours long, and he's gonna do it as episodic, so it's gonna come out in hour chunks, and then he's gonna edit it into a movie, which is awesome. And then when it comes out, I'm getting a Blu-ray and I'm getting the 4K. Or if they come out with a steelbook, I'm getting it. If the figure comes with it, I'm getting it. I will put it on my credit card and pay for it later. I don't care. I'm getting that. That is right there. That's what you want. He's gonna kill everything. And I know people don't understand why he's doing it in hour chunks. It gets people more watching on HBO Max. Makes sense. Because it makes a lot of sense. I got annoyed about one thing about it was one of the stupid hosts was saying that if it wasn't for HBO Max, we never would have gotten the Snyder Cut. No, it was AT&T. AT&T are the ones that basically said, no, we're going to put this on HBO Max. It's not because of HBO Max. HBO has nothing to do with DC. HBO can't just tell DC, hey, we're going to put this on. No, it was AT&T that said it. AT&T is the parent label now. HBO is owned by AT&T, which is, it's all Warner Media. It's all part of Warner Media. So is WB. So is DC. AT&T is the parent label. It's the one that owns them all. So what's this guy talking about? We could thank HBO Max for being around, but that's all AT&T. Zach took questions from some of the stars and Patty, and also he talked to Fiona Zing, and just to let you know, she gained some weight. Still a cutie, but gained some weight. But it was great to see her and see that she's getting a lot of the thank yous from Zach about not giving up. And I'm hoping she's safe in China, because politically there's a lot of crap going on in China, in my personal opinion, and I hope that she's safe. And they talked to one black gentleman. I'm sorry. If you guys can know his name, please put it down in the description below, in the comments below, please. I don't know this gentleman. They said that he basically he basically met up with Zach. He helped Zach here a lot in the States here. He organized a lot of the stuff here stateside. He probably did a lot of talking to the Film Anarchy, the Real Anarchy. He probably talked to a lot of people, try to get that voice out, get everything out, and I thank the both of them. I mean, we were all one little small cogs in the wheel, but the wheel was moving because all of us were doing our fair share. Some people did more than others, but that's the whole point of it. Some people had that drive, and others were like, hey, you know what? I'll do my little part, and I hope it helps. And it did help. It did help. It got the message out. Like, this channel is built to help Zach. But now since we're getting it, it's now going to be more an effect of myself talking about my personal opinions about comic movies and stuff like that, and combat against the negativity of people who say, well, we love comics. No, you don't. You don't love comics. Sorry, go away. um um the Black Lightning panel was pretty dang good. We finally get Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam, and we're going to literally see him with the Justice League, the Justice Society of America, and it's going to be a small battle of members. Sorry, I'm a little tired. But there's a lot more there, and I think they're going to build more off of that until we get to Billy versus Teth. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a lot there. They talked about the TV Titans. Season 3 sounds like it's going to be good. We're going to get Blackfire. We're going to get Red Hood. The Aquaman panel was cool because we got Patrick Wilson and James Wan just talking about the just making some comedy routines and talking about the whole movie itself, how cool it was, and how some things were a little bit difficult than others, and how James had to change certain things to make sure that it fit a little bit better of a narrative. The Shazam panel was really, really good. We finally got it called Fury of the Gods, like I revealed and like we talked about on Monday's podcast. It was good and funny, and I think, in my personal opinion, I think that Sinbad's going to be Uncle Dudley. And if he's Uncle Dudley now, I'm wondering what's going to happen to the parents. That's going to be a huge emotional standpoint if something happened to those two people. Especially after Billy finally gets to have two parents that love him very much. They're not blood, but it doesn't matter that they love him. They're willing to help him become a better person, and all of a sudden, whoosh, they're gone. So who knows? Sorry. We also get Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League video game, and we also get the Gotham Knights game, which is going to be awesome. The Batman panel was really good. I liked the trailer. I just don't like Robert Pattinson's Batman. I think he's out of place a little bit. And to be perfectly honest, the suit's not growing on me. I still don't like the suit. I might like it when I see it in more context in the movie, but right now, just a trailer. Oh, sorry. I don't like it. I think it's lackluster. I think it's very, very basic. The car looks cool. Colin Farrell as the Penguin. He looks so phenomenal as Penguin. He looks so great. He has the jowls. He has the long beak. He has the big Jewish nose and everything. It's like, wow, dude. They did a good job. Whoever did the makeup, yeah. They said that the Riddler has a bag over his head and he cut it out. He cut eyes out so he could see. But I don't know. I gotta see him I gotta see him. I gotta see more of him. But the way they're making it, that Riddler is just doing all this stuff. You gotta see the trailer. It's really good. I don't. I just don't feel it. And also the Catwoman, I gotta see it in more practicality. I'm not saying that I can't see Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I'm just saying, I'm not very happy with it. But that's me. Sorry. Being perfectly honest. But I might like it in the movie. Here's the thing. Trailers are supposed to get you hyped. I'm hyped just because of the feel. I'm hyped because of just the tone. But I just don't. the only thing I liked in there about his Batman was he beat the living hell out of the dude at the very end of that trailer, and just instead of punching him like this, he went like this. Like it was like he was hammering his head in. I'm like, yeah, okay, he's making this Batman, and again, this is a second year Batman, so his anger is raw. It's raw anger and raw emotion, so I can understand that. But I gotta see it. I gotta see it in a little bit more context. So I'm not knocking the panel. I'm not knocking Matt Reeves. He's gonna kill it. I think the story is gonna kill it. I think that just the feel of it and the direction is gonna be cool. I just don't know how I feel about Robert Pattinson himself and the suit, and I don't know about Zoe Kravitz yet. But like I said, I'm gonna leave it here. But I'm gonna definitely let you all know that I'm gonna try to do the best I can. I know I keep saying something, and I'll make as many videos as I possibly can. But because of my boss being out, it's gonna be stressful, and I want this to be more of a relaxation. I'm off this whole weekend, but I have to be at work next weekend, so that's the reason why I want to have some time off. But I definitely want to make sure that all of you are gonna get the videos that you need, and we're definitely gonna, me and Hawk are gonna definitely figure out what we're gonna do for next Friday. So because that's Labor Day weekend. But and also we might just shoot the crap for a bit. We might talk a little bit about a few things, what we like, dislike, unless there's big news coming out. But if there's not much, we're probably just gonna it might be a short one. We might go on tangents. Who knows? I hope you guys enjoy. But definitely go to see the Elites. Those are linked onto any of the previous like the last podcast I have for mine. It's linked into the description. Please go there, sign up, hit the subscribe button. Me and Hawk really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys sticking around. And again, my boys Subjective Reviews did a really great description about what happened at the DC Fandome, and he and I talked about the Snyder Cut for a bit, and he and I agreed that it's gonna blow everyone's mind. That is going to blow everybody's mind. Like it's not going to be stupid. I think that trailer showed us everything we were missing. Those are everything that was cut out of the movie. That's not new stuff. Tell that to everybody. That's not new stuff. That's stuff that was taken out of the movie. You can tell. You can definitely tell, and it's mind-boggling. So thanks for coming. Thanks for joining me again. Like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Hit the bell. I will do everything I can to make as many videos as I possibly can. I cannot do like a Mondays, Wednesdays, stuff like that. I have a day job, and I definitely got to get as much sleep as possible. It's very important, and also I'm the only boss, so I gotta have my mindset on my work and my job, and have as much fun as I possibly can over there without going into a postal rage. But I'm having fun with it. This is my time, and if it works out, I might get they might consider me for something bigger and better. So I really want to try to impress, so I can showcase that we can do it, that I can create a team, and my team can succeed with me as the helm at the helm. So please cross your fingers about it. It's not like I'm applying for anything. It's just more on the fact of this is them watching me. So but I will definitely try to get as many videos out as I possibly can. You guys have a great one, and thank you very much. Bye.